God provides food and water. God had helped Moses lead the Israelites out of Egypt through the Red Sea to an oasis to rest. Next, God led them farther away and into the desert. With a nation of 2 million Israelites, it would take a whole trainload of food to keep the people fed. After a month of traveling, they had run out of food. Yet God had a plan to provide for His people's needs. Unfortunately, the Israelites didn't trust God enough to wait for Him to provide. They began complaining to Moses right away. Imagine 2 million people complaining and whining all the time. "Why did you lead us out here into this desert? We were better off in slavery. At least there we had all the food we needed, but you've taken us out here to starve us to death." The people weren't being honest in their complaints. They were not better off in Egypt, where they suffered greatly under the rule of the Egyptians. God's people were under His care in the wilderness, and He loved them very much. They could count on Him to take care of them if they would just be patient. God wasn't pleased with the people's grumbling. "Here's what I will do," He said. "I will bring down bread from heaven for you to eat. Every morning when you wake up, it will be on the ground. It will be thin flakes that will provide everything you need for your diet. Be sure to pick up what you need for each day and no more. On the 6th day, pick up twice as much as you need so you don't have to do any work on the Sabbath." God also said He would provide small birds called quail for the Israelites to eat for dinner every day. He would cause them to fly low enough so the Israelites could catch them. The first evening, God's promise came true. "Look at all the quail!" the Israelites must have shouted. "Quick, let's catch some and cook them. I'm starving." The Israelites went to bed with full stomachs that night. The next morning, the Israelites awoke to dew on the ground. When the dew dried up, they saw small round flakes of something they had never seen before. "Manna? Manna?" they kept saying to each other. "Can we eat this? Is this our food from God?" The word manna means, "What is it?" So the bread became known as manna from heaven. "This is the bread the Lord has given you to eat," Moses said. God had kept His promise. The people were pleased to have the bread from heaven. They discovered that it tasted like honey wafers. God instructed the Israelites to gather only enough manna for one day. But some people got greedy and gathered more than they needed. The next morning, their manna was rotten and full of worms. God had also said that there would be no manna on the Sabbath. The people were to gather twice as much the day before. God said that manna would still be good on the Sabbath. Some Israelites didn't obey. They went out on the Sabbath to look for manna, but they found none. They had no food for the Sabbath. God wanted the people to obey Him and trust Him to provide for their needs. This was a lesson the nation of Israel still needed to learn. Soon the people came to a place that had no water. With millions of people and lots of animals, they would need a lot of water. The people complained again to Moses. "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt just to die here in the wilderness?" They even said, "We were better off in Egypt." The people became so angry that Moses was afraid they would kill him. He cried out to God, "What am I going to do with these people? They are ready to stone me." God said, "I'll show you what to do. Take some of the elders with you and go on ahead of the people. See that big rock over there? Hit it with your staff." When Moses hit the rock, water flowed from it. There was water everywhere, enough to satisfy the needs of all the people and the animals. "Water at last!" some probably shouted. "How refreshing it is to have all the water we need." God showed the Israelites that they could trust Him. He loved them and would take care of their needs. We should always be glad that God watches over us. When we have needs, we need to thank Him for His love and ask Him to provide for us. When we do, we please God.